All right, hey, thanks for checking out my Loopop Superbooth contest submission. I had a ton of fun making this track, and I just think it was really cool of Loopop to do this contest. A lot of cool sounds here, and I think it's awesome that none of these synths or drum machines are even available to purchase yet, and here we are making music with them. So cool. Anyways, yeah, let's talk about the track. When I heard about the contest rules to use only these Superbooth samples and some vocals, I immediately thought of the Deluge because of its simplicity, its purity. In a computer, you can manipulate anything to do anything and sound like anything. But with the Deluge, it's pretty straightforward. The sounds are the sounds. And it only has a handful of basic effects like delay, reverb, and filter. And that's kind of it. Super simple, super straightforward. And so I immediately went here when I heard about this contest. So all the sounds you just heard in that track were created from the Superbooth samples plus a vocal loop. I want it so bad. 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 That single vocal loop repeated and chopped in various different ways. I just kind of repeated that loop on different pads and chopped them in different spots. The thing I love about the Deluge is it is an amazing sampler. I literally just sang that snippet and just found all the good little bits. And from there, I also, as I was writing the track, I wanted to fill in some of the space a little bit with more vocals. So I also created these two vocal ooh-ah loops, doubled and panned wides, just for a little stereo effect. So that's it. There's those vocals. Those are the only vocals used, as well as my live vocals I was doing on the top. On this channel up here, I've got it feeding a microphone. I'm using this Sennheiser. What is this? What do we got here? Can you see that? It's the Sennheiser NKE 600. It's not focusing. I'm a little too close to the mic, or to the camera. But yeah, Sennheiser NKE 600. The great thing about this mic is it's battery powered, so it plugs straight into the Deluge. There's no fancy tricks. I don't need a preamp. I'm not using any auto tune or any fancy doodads. It's just a mic straight into the Deluge with, at the time of recording, I can give it some delay and some reverb. And that's really it. Delay and reverb are the only two effects I use on my voice through the whole track. So that's all the vocals. And the rest is all Superbooth samples. So let's check it out. How did I build this track? I started with a kick. Simple kick. Let's see. What was that? The simple kick. That kick is from the Portal drums. That's kick number 4. Also, I put that first because that is actually triggering all the sidechain compression that's going on. So you can hear when that's happening. I put a little bit of, if I put a little bit of reverb and delay on my voice, you'll hear it starting to sidechain everything. I pretty much have sidechain on everything. But here we go. Super cool effect. Super simple. Again, on this box, it's all about simplicity. So I love the Deluge for that. It's all very straightforward. The next track here, the next green one, I usually make my drums green. That's just my color coding scheme. Here I've got the drums and the 808-ish bass. So that 808 sound was from the Zaps folder, I think. Let me check it out. What was that? Look at my notes here. Main kit, low 808 bass. That's the Winter Plankton Zaps number 1. And I've put it on the first 4 pads here so that they're tuned for the melody or to follow the bass line. But initially it opens up with just that one note. So that's the main loop. And then up here I've got 6mod6 drums doing some hi-hats and snares. These were all from the 6mod6 collection. That was by far my favorite folder. I almost wanted to make a track with just the 6mod6 stuff. I was going to use that for the bass and everything too, but there was just so much fun stuff to play with. I kept going from there. And then the next one actually copies that track. It's the same thing, but now the bass is doing the melodic stuff. So I have it iterated so that every time through it plays, the first time through it just plays the bottom line. And then the next time through it plays the pink notes, the purple notes, and so on. So that was the main groove of the track. These are just little tops, percussion top stuff, hi-hats and snares. This was the Perkins HD01 hat here. And then moving on to the synths. This first one up, this was the Waldorf M6 sample set here. Some nice pads there, and they do really well with the filter here. I kind of play with that filter in certain sections of this song just to kind of open it up and build it. Then I've got two arpeggio lines. The first one was the Nymphs 6 Wait For It samples, and I shortened these and arpeggiated them. That's a really cool sound. And next up was the Waldorf M7 folder. I loved that glassy kind of scratchy sound that has, and again I filtered this and opened it up as the track progresses. And then there's a bass in here that I actually found I didn't use much. This sound was really awesome. The Waldorf M5. I love this sound. So gritty. So nasty. I love it. But unfortunately I found that was filling up the sonic palette a little too much, so I used that only very sparingly, if at all. But I loved having the option to throw that in there. And then all these pink sections here were kind of like my high sparkly ambient texture stuff. What did we get here? This was the Hydrasynth 2. Hydrasynth 2 doing some chords. Yep. Next up was the Buchla Tip Top. What was that? The Buchla Tip Top. Oh yeah, I just used a single hit from this and formed a whole keyboard patch from just one sample. I liked the sound that it got as it went lower. Kind of a detuning of that just one sample. It was the Buchla Tip Top 07154. Very cool. What was this? This was the UDO 6, oh, the UDO 5 folder. Random Journey. Oh yeah, this one was fun. Just doing these like high bell twinkly things for the breakdown. And then finally this was the Nymphs 5 Outer Space. And again, I think I shortened this and arpeggiated it. It's doing these chords like that. Kind of fun. Next up, I had this low kind of, this to me sounded like a funky 80s bass line. And that's the, what was this? UDO6 bell and tail patch. Yeah. That's a fun one. And lastly, there's this pad. This was the Hydrasynth 2. I called it I saved it as Hydrasynth 2B because I'd already used the Hydrasynth 2 patch for chords elsewhere, so this was the second time it showed up in the song. And together, this whole pink section forms kind of my little breakdown section with the vocal chops happening up at the top here. It sounds like this. Yeah, that's the breakdown. And then all together, let's load up the original. So all together, the track sounded like this, as you remember. And there's a section in the middle where I kind of break it down and I freak the whole thing out. And I wanted to explain how I did that. I wanted to get a little bit crazy with it, a little experimental, just because it was fun. And what I was doing at that point is I just kind of all the samples, these vocals that I've recorded, they're all tempo synced. So as I start to play with the tempo at that section in the song, they kind of stretch out and they become kind of ambient, atmospheric pads almost. And I just kind of drenched the whole thing in delay and reverb before I start manipulating the tempo and freaking the whole thing out. And that went a little something like this. Drop that tempo way down, and you can hear everything is drenched in reverb and delays. They're just echoing, holding notes, and the tempo at this point is... Hello, check. Yeah, it dropped me out. Oh, the side chain dropped me out for a second there, the vocals. I'm actually recording the vocals live through this channel still as we're doing this. But yeah, now that the tempo is moving super slow, what I did here was I loaded the patch in its clean state. And then I brought the tempo back up and let it just load the clean track again. One more time around. It drops back into the track. At that point, it drops back into the full track. So there you have it. That's the entire song. Superbooth samples and some vocals. Tons of fun. Thumbs up. I'm trying to get thumbs up. There they are. Thumbs up.